All right, guys, I am back, and let's just see what we can get done in this video. Okay, so I'm looking at the time on the clock, and I will obviously have to pause and restart and whatever here, like throughout the video for drawing time, so that we can make sure we're just getting everything kind of done. What I do is I like to glue my pieces on. And if it's thinner paper, then I'll use like Mod Podge to help with the bubbling. But if it's cardstock, then which this is, I will just put it on with quite a bit of glue. And then I'm really gonna like push it down, kind of smush it out. I'm not gonna worry too much about like excess seepage, like you can kind of see it right here, because the Mod Podge will kind of cover that up, but I really wanna spread out that glue, and I'm sorry if it's jiggling the camera. But you really wanna make sure there's not gonna be a ton of like air pockets when you come back up, or when you put the Mod Podge on. If not, it's gonna bubble kind of weird. So yeah, I tend to use a little bit more glue than I normally would to glue these down. So yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. I am. I'm kind of enjoying the silence today. Bo is working, Grace is in school, and yeah, so it's been really quiet here today. So yeah. And that's why the video is getting a little bit loaded a little bit later today. I mean, I know I've been kind of late loading lately, but yeah. So we'll just kind of work today on getting these done, the cover, and then we'll see how much time we have to get started on journaling cards. Yeah, and then hopefully by the end of the weekend, we will have it done, and then we can list it. Okay, and then since I used the art glitter glue, it should be pretty well dry so that I can go ahead and put the Mod Podge on now. I'm going to do similar what I did before, and I'm only going to put it on the cover. I'm not going to like wrap it around and put it on the inside, because yeah, I'm just not going to. And then I'm not going to worry about, well, should I seal? I should probably seal this here too. The only thing I'm usually cautious about is that the glue, like regular glue, doesn't usually like to stick to my Mod Podge. So just for the what's the word I'm looking for? The doilies that we plan to put on. So, and this is just a plain old matte finish Mod Podge. And one of the tricks to Mod Podge that I have found is that you don't leave white bubbles anywhere, or like white streaks. Here in Colorado, like right here, I won't leave any of that because it'll just do like a weird oh, now I lost my train of thought. It'll just leave a weird white bubble there, if you will. So I'll just make sure all the crevices and stuff are kind of, doesn't have that in there. And I kind of debated back and forth whether to use my antique Mod Podge on this, or just like regular Mod Podge, or even like a high gloss one. In the end, I just decided on the matte, because I guess it kind of just felt like the matte would go with the time period on what I'm, you know, like the lady here. Okay. So that's kind of what it should look like, and it should look like it's kind of drying pretty quickly. Yeah. All right, so that's that portion. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video, and I'm gonna go ahead and like let this dry, and then I'm gonna do the side and then the back. And then when I come back, then we'll kind of work on the inside. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, guys, these are pretty much dry now. So I've just set it up on its spine so that we can glue the doilies on. I usually try to start in like on the spine first to get it as centered as I possibly can. And I'm hoping that this Fabri-Tac will stick to the, like I know it'll stick to the doilies, but stick to the Mod Podge. Sometimes I have issues with that. So if it doesn't, then we'll end up having to hot glue them on. So I just kind of find the middle here of both the doily and the spine, and then I just press it on down. If we need to add some more glue in some different areas, then we'll do that too. Okay, we'll like add any glue that we need to. I'm sorry, you guys are probably gonna hear some of the windstorm. It looks like it's blowing in a storm again here, so keep thinking it's almost the end of this glue bottle, but it does keep going. So we'll just see how many more projects we can get out of it. Okay, and I think I'll do it this way. Okay. Okay. Let's flip it to the back and glue it down. And this time I'm going to take it and put it on the doily itself, in the thicker parts of the doily. That one down. Okay. Take this one. Do the same. Okay, and then we'll bring this one over and start gluing this one down on the front. And I think I love this. I think I love how this is turning out. Oh yeah, I do like that. Okay. Okay, I am going to pause the video again for just a minute to let that dry. And then we will open it up. When I do these kind of things, I let it dry fully before I open it for the first time after doing the glue. So that said, I will be back in just a second, and then we will figure out and mark down how many cards we need and what sizes we need. All right, guys, I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, guys, let's get rolling on pockets. And I had a pen here, and I think I put it away. So we'll just grab another one. All right, so another thing that I like to do is obviously count how many pieces of ephemera I need to fill my pockets. A lot of these I like to put pieces of paper like folded up, and I'll like stamp on them, or put like a piece of the kit ephemera on it, or I'll put some flowers or something like that. So for this journal, I think we're gonna do the same thing there. So I'll need let's see, paper. We'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. I think that's all the pockets like that we have. Okay. Yeah, that's all the pockets we have in that direction. What that does, I think, gives another full like writing spot, because on these you can write on the pockets and then also have a full sheet of paper to write a few days worth of journaling and stuff on. Okay. So then these, we need tags. I'm going to write tags here, and we're going to measure really quick. I'm thinking that 8 inches, because this book is, if you'll remember back, is 8.5. So I'm thinking if we do a tag that is 8 inches by, we'll say 2 1/4. 2 1/4, and we'll need 1, 2, 3, 4 of those times 4. Okay, and then here for these top, okay, top loading will be a little bit different. So I'm going to stick my ruler in here, and I'm going to say 2 3/4. Let's see, those will be journaling card. We'll need 2 3/4, 2 3/4 by, let's say, see, by the time we include the glue marks, let's say 7 3/4. And we'll try 1, and if we need to adjust, we'll do that. And so then we know it's by 4, right? Because we know we have 4 different spots of this. Okay, then for this one, we'll say 3 3/4. 3/4 by 7 3/4. Again, we'll adjust if we need to, times 4. And then this one, we'll say 4, let's say 4 1/2, because that's 4 1/2. 4 1/2 by 7 3/4 times 4 to fill the pockets. Okay. And then I think that just leaves us the side and the top loading, which should be about the same size. I'm gonna take one of my side loading pockets here and just kind of stick my ruler in again like I did a second ago. So yeah, we could do 4 3/4. It would be 4 3/4 by, let's say 8. Actually, no, we'll do 7 3/4 for that one, and 3/4 for that one. And then we have 2 side loading ones, so we'll do 2 of those. Okay, top loading, I think the 7 3/4 will be just fine. And it should, I'm thinking we should probably do 4 1/2. So on a card, 4 1/2 by 7 3/4. again, we can totally adjust. And I think that takes care of all of our pocket needs. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's test our measurements out with let's do, all right, so you know what, let me pause this and go get Gracie's little cutter, because this one doesn't have it doesn't go past 6 inches. So sorry about that. I'll be right back. And as it turns out, I couldn't find hers, so we'll use my really old guillotine and just hope that it will cut straight enough for us. So the first one we said was going to be 8 by 2.5. So we'll do 2.5 here, like so. And then we'll mark it at 8 here. Okay, let's bring over our book again. Just make sure it's a good fit. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take off a little bit more. Let's do 7 3/4, and we'll see what that gets us. Okay, yep, that works. Okay, and then we decided 2 3/4 by 7 3/4. So let's try that. Actually don't like that, so let's adjust this one. We can still use this one as a tag. We'll just trim it down a little bit more, but let's try actually, let me just cut this down to 7 3/4, and we'll just see what we get. Okay, so the 7 3/4 works really good. So let's see what this ends up being. And I think we'll end up having to do that with all of these. Seems like a good one. So that ends up being 3 1/4. Let's test it out. Okay, yep. Okay, so we're going to change this one to 3 1/4. Okay, so then that means we'll probably have to, let's go ahead and cut down one more here. Like I said, right now we're just making templates. So we'll cut this one down to 7 3/4. And save these because we can use that as other things. So, oh, I know what I was doing. Let's just stick this in here so that we know exactly what we're doing, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, I like that. Like that fit, I think. Okay. Let's See, that is just under 4. So we'll just say, well, I guess 3 1/4 would still fit. Let's just try that a minute. Because it's not like we can't use this somewhere else, right? Because I would rather have specific measurements for you than... Yeah, I still like that fit because then you can still see the pattern back there. So we'll leave that one at 3 3/4. And then let's see, let's get this last pocket in there. Come on. It gets stiff sometimes when you're trying, there we go. Let's try that. Okay. That ends up being, what did we say before? About 4 1/2. Okay. So the only pocket we're kind of off on, and when I say we, I mean me, was that one. Okay. 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 All right. So those sizings will work for that. And then we said 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. Get out another piece here. Let's make sure it's going to work. Okay, and we said 4 3/4. Okay, and that would be for the side loading pockets. Okay, I think I'm going to take that down to, instead of 7 3/4, we're going to go to 7 1/2. Just take off that little quarter there. Just so it's not quite a struggle because remember, these are still kind of fragile as far as, I mean, it's not going to fall apart on you, but it's also book page, right? So if you're putting a lot of resistance in there, then it's not going to fit as well, so to speak. And I usually like to round the corners of these when I'm putting them all together. Okay, yep, that'll work, because then we'll put a tab or lace or something right there to kind of make it stick out. Okay, so let's work on the top loading. So we did 7 1/2 with this one. We'll make our marks there. And then we said another 4 1/2 by 7 3/4. So let's do 4 1/2. Okay, easy in. I like how it comes up. Yep, okay, so we'll keep that. And then I usually, since these, let's see, I can't remember exactly because we're going to fill them with these dyed papers. I think I usually go, I think I take off 1 inch. And then when I fold them in half, right? Let's, without putting the crease in there, let's try this. Well, I think I'll probably have to put the crease in. Okay, not quite. Okay, so we need, let's do 9 1/2. So taking off 1.5 inches. Try that. Oh, and we need to take off the top. So so it's not sticky up, but let's make sure it fits width-wise first before we do that. Okay, that works, 9.5 inches. And then we'll take off, let's see, a full inch. So 7 or let's do 7 3/4 and see what we get. Perfect. Okay. All right. So that is what we'll do there. Okay, guys, since we got all of those set, I'm going to go ahead and call this a video, and I'm going to do my trimming, and then we'll do our decorating and things like that. I'm going to pull over. These are not misprints as in anything wrong with them, but misprints like sizing wise. So I'm going to go ahead and use these, but we'll use those for the ephemera. And like I said, it's just extra printing of the kits. And like this one is wrong, I think. Or maybe it's not. I'll have to look at the original, see how it's got lines in it. Remember, I was telling you my printer was acting up. So I'll have to, like this first set is fine, but the second set, yeah, see, this one doesn't have lines. So it's that back set that's kind of messed up. And what I was going to do is just take a couple of like the corners and stuff that aren't messed up. I was just going to take those and use those as our decorations, but we'll come back and make tags and all of that in the next video. And don't get rid of these pieces because we'll use them for something, I bet. Maybe we'll make some little pockets on the big pockets, or we'll figure out something. Maybe even some, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. My brain's just a little, thinking ahead and still on cutting. So, okay, guys, I will see you in the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye.